Hey, what's going on? Tony Purcell here, and I'm actually driving with my family again. Here's my little boy, Link. There's Jake in his seat, and here's my wife, Abigail. And I actually wanted to record the video today because Abigail, I was just talking to her, and there was something I thought of that I wanted to kind of share with her and teach her. And I just thought, you know what? Let me turn on the camera real quick and just kind of record this as I teach her, because I think it's a really valuable concept that I think everybody needs to know and understand. So I want you to think about this. Imagine like when you're learning how to throw a ball. And here's an example. My little boy, he's gotten to the point where he's actually pretty good at throwing a ball. He's got a little basketball hoop now, and he can make it. But I remember not very long ago him trying to throw a ball, and he would take both hands and put them behind his back and try to throw the ball, and it would actually go backwards. And there's quite a few times when he'd try to throw, and it would actually go backwards. And then once he started to learn how to throw, he couldn't aim at all. Once he actually got it forward, it would go far to the right, far to the left. It would just go all over the place. Now, to throw a ball like that may seem really simple, but it's actually extremely complicated. There are literally thousands and thousands of tiny little muscle fibers that all have to contract in the exact right moment for you to be able to throw a ball, and for you to know how to throw a ball far, how to throw it short, how to throw it, slightly to the right, to the left. Wherever. To aim a ball and throw it is so extremely complicated, like what really happens. But you do it that quickly. But it wasn't that quick. It didn't just happen the first time you threw a ball. It worked. Most everyone, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of practice, a lot of tries. So how does your subconscious mind get to the point where even though you throw a ball and you throw horrible throws over and over and over again, how do you eventually get to the point where you actually get really, really good at throwing the ball and are able to consistently throw it to where you want it to be? And this is how it works, is your mind takes feedback. You throw the ball and it goes where you want, and it memorizes that. It says, okay, it went where I want. Let's memorize that muscle sequence. You throw the ball and it doesn't go where you want, and your mind will forget that. So in learning to throw a ball, you have way more failures than you have successes, but your mind is programmed to forget your failures and to memorize your successes. And then when it comes to the next time you're throwing a ball and you want to be successful at throwing that ball, then your mind will call upon the memory of the previous time that you were successful and use that to achieve success right then in that moment. Here's what I want to point out, is that in life, most people actually do the opposite. Most of the time, really think about that. Most of the time, you actually do the opposite in life when you want to throw something, or when you're wanting to achieve success. You look back on your life, and what you do is you tend to remember the failures, and you call upon, and you forget the successes. And so no matter who you are, you've had an enormous amount of success in your life in little things. You've overcome obstacles. You've done things that you didn't think were possible. There were times when you had strength. There were times when you pushed through. There were times when you were creative and you came up with solutions to the problems that you've had. And then at the same time, there were times when you came up short. There were times when you failed. There were times when you gave up. There were times when you couldn't figure things out. And what most people do is they remember those failures, and they actually call upon the failures the next time something comes up. Think about this. When you're trying to do something new that's kind of hard, and you get really scared, what's going on? Why do you have that fear? It's because your mind is calling upon your previous failures. You're remembering the times when you were weak. You are remembering the times when you didn't do it. You are remembering those times when you came up short, and you're calling upon those for that moment, and it's causing a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety in you. And so what do? Most of the time, most people will just kind of back off. They'll stop trying. They won't go for their dreams because they just look and they'll say, man, I'm just going to fail. Look at all the times I've failed. And they forget all the times that they've succeeded. And so that's what I want to point out to you right now in your life, whatever it is. I want you to consciously shift that. And instead of remembering all the times that you failed and forgetting all the successes that you've got, switch that around and forget all the times that you failed. It doesn't help you. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't do anyone any good to remember and dwell upon all the failures that you've got. Just like your arm, when you're throwing that ball, it does not do you any good for your mind to memorize that improper sequence. It only does you good to remember the times when it was a successful throw. And the same thing with your life. It only is beneficial and helpful to you to remember the times when you succeed. Not to say you can't learn lessons from the mistakes you made and the times when you've come up short. Of course you can learn lessons, but don't memorize those and call upon those in a time when you're trying to be successful again. If you want to see success in your life right now, call back upon those times when you were successful in any other area at any other time, and remember that. Remember what it took. Remember what you did. Remember the successes and draw upon those. Let those give you strength. Let those give you power. Let those give you belief in yourself, rather than the fear and everything else that calling upon the failures gives you. So focus on your successes. Think of the times that you have been successful in your life and remember those. Forget the failures, remember the successes, and call upon those in anything else you want to achieve in life. Any goal you have and you want to be successful, call upon your successes and forget the failures. As always, come join us in the Prosperity Team, because for me, the Prosperity Team is your school of creation. It's a place where you can not just talk about these principles, but actually apply them and make them real in your life. And you've got a whole team of people to help you and to support you. And you've got a very specific system so that you know actually how to apply those things. And so that you can actually start to see those successes more and more and basically achieve whatever kind of success you want in your life. So I'll talk to you later.